Cowboys fans, we've got breaking updates that could make or break the rest of the season. From Trevon Diggs' recovery to critical injuries impacting Tyler Guyton, Mazi Smith, and Luke Schoonmaker, the health of these key players could determine if Dallas is playoff-bound or stuck facing another year of disappointment. Stick around, because we're diving into all the latest news and what it means for America's team. What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to Cowboys Club, your go-to source for all things Dallas Cowboys. Today, we're talking about huge injury updates that could define the season. Trevon Diggs, Tyler Guyton, Mazi Smith, and Luke Schoonmaker are all in the spotlight, and their health is critical for the team's playoff push. Can the Cowboys bounce back, or are these injuries too much to overcome? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss breaking Cowboys news. Let's get into it. Cowboys Nation, gather around, because today we're diving into some massive news surrounding America's team. Injury updates are pouring in for some of the most pivotal players on the Cowboys roster, and these updates could make or break the team's momentum heading into the critical stretch of the season. We're talking about Trevon Diggs, Tyler Guyton, Mazi Smith, and Luke Schoonmaker, players whose health and performance will shape the Cowboys' success not only this year, but possibly for years to come. Are we in for a bounce back, or are these injuries too much for Dallas to overcome? Stick with me as we break down every angle of this developing story. Let's start with the player who's been on every Cowboys fan's mind since his devastating injury earlier this season, Trevon Diggs. As we all know, Diggs suffered a season-ending ACL tear during practice, and his absence has been a massive blow to the defense. But here's where things get interesting. Reports suggest that Diggs' recovery is progressing ahead of schedule. While there's no chance of him returning this season, his focus and determination in rehab are setting him up for a strong comeback next year. Sources close to the team say Diggs has been actively involved in team meetings and even offering advice to younger players like DaRon Bland and Jordan Lewis. This kind of leadership is invaluable, and it speaks volumes about Diggs' commitment to the team, even while sidelined. Let's take a moment to acknowledge how the defense has adapted without him. DaRon Bland has been the breakout star of the secondary, stepping into a larger role and delivering some highly worthy performances. His pick sixes and clutch plays in crucial moments have kept the Cowboys' defense afloat, but make no mistake, no one can replace what Diggs brings to the table. His ability to shut down an entire side of the field and create game-changing turnovers is something you simply can't replicate. The hope is that Bland's growth this season, combined with Diggs' eventual return, will make the secondary even more formidable next year. For now, though, the Cowboys' defense has to find ways to adapt and continue competing against high-powered offenses without their star cornerback. Now, let's shift to the offensive line, where Tyler Guyton's health has become a significant storyline. Guyton has been dealing with a lingering ankle injury that's limited his availability, and it couldn't come at a worse time. The Cowboys' offensive line has always been the backbone of their success, and Guyton's versatility as a guard and tackle makes him one of the most important pieces in protecting Dak Prescott and creating lanes for Tony Pollard. Recent updates suggest that Guyton is making progress in his recovery, but the team is being cautious about rushing him back, and for good reason. The last thing the Cowboys need is for Guyton to return too soon and aggravate the injury further. Without Guyton, the offensive line has been forced to shuffle players around, creating inconsistencies in both pass protection and the run game. This has had a noticeable impact on Dak Prescott, who's faced more pressure in recent weeks. and on Tony Pollard, whose production has dipped as a result of fewer open lanes. Guyton's return would provide much-needed stability, allowing the line to gel and perform at the level we've come to expect from this unit. The offensive line's performance is especially critical as the Cowboys head into a stretch of games against some of the league's top defenses, including the Eagles and the 49ers. A healthy Guyton could be the key to unlocking the Cowboys' offensive potential down the stretch. Speaking of potential, let's talk about Mazi Smith. The Cowboys' first-round pick entered the league with high expectations as a run-stuffing, gap-plugging force on the defensive line. And while Smith has shown flashes of his talent, injuries have slowed his development. Reports indicate that Smith has been dealing with a shoulder issue, which has impacted his ability to consistently take on double teams and generate pressure. However, the coaching staff remains optimistic about his trajectory. Defensive coordinator Dan Quinn recently praised Smith for his resilience and work ethic, noting that he's been putting in extra hours to adapt to the physicality of the NFL. For the Cowboys, Smith's development is crucial, especially as they face run-heavy teams in the coming weeks. Stopping the run has been a point of emphasis for the defense, and Smith's ability to clog the middle and disrupt opposing offenses could be the difference between bending and breaking. Beyond this season, Smith is seen as a foundational piece for the Cowboys' defense, a player who can anchor the line for years to come. Keeping him healthy and allowing him to grow into his role will be essential for the team's long-term success. Now let's turn our attention to Luke Schoonmaker, the rookie tight end who has had an up-and-down season so far. Schoonmaker has shown flashes of his potential, particularly in red zone situations where his size and athleticism make him a valuable target. However, a lingering knee issue has limited his ability to contribute consistently. The good news is that Schoonmaker's condition is reportedly improving, and there's optimism that he'll play a larger role in the offense as the season progresses. Collier for the Cowboys, getting Schoonmaker more involved could be a game changer. With Dalton Schultz no longer on the roster, the tight end position has been an area of uncertainty. Our usually refined tactics have been demanded in 2 days, and while an enemy is in 3D, we cannot have our safety pin go off on Cowboys because it may begin to transfer to blockers. Current stable to run on from and which can direct plays into touchdowns. If Schoonmaker can stay healthy and continue developing, he has the potential to be a key piece of the Cowboys' offensive puzzle. So, what's the bigger picture here? These injuries highlight both the challenges and the depth of the Cowboys' roster. Losing a player like Trevon Diggs is a massive blow, but the emergence of players like Deron Bland and Jordan Lewis has kept the defense competitive. Similarly, while the offensive line has struggled without Tyler Guyton, the team has managed to hold its own thanks to strong performances from veterans like Zach Martin and Tyron Smith. The development of young players like Mazi Smith and Luke Schoonmaker adds another layer of hope, as these players represent the future of the team. That said, staying healthy will be the key to the Cowboys' success this season. The NFL is a war of attrition, and teams that make deep playoff runs are often the ones that can navigate injuries and keep their core players on the field. For Dallas, that means ensuring that players like Guyton, Smith, and Schoonmaker are ready to contribute when it matters most. It also means finding ways to adapt and overcome challenges, just as they've done in the absence of Trevon Diggs. Looking ahead, the Cowboys have a tough road to the playoffs, but they also have the talent and depth to compete with the league's best. If they can get healthy and maintain their focus, there's no reason this team can't make a deep postseason run. The key will be staying resilient, making the necessary adjustments, and trusting in the depth and development of their roster. All right, Cowboys fans, that's the latest on the injury updates for Trevon Diggs, Tyler Guyton, Mazi Smith, and Luke Schoonmaker. What do you think? Can the Cowboys overcome these challenges and make a serious push for the playoffs? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Cowboys Club, and hit that notification bell so you never miss breaking news about America's team. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Cowboys.